My name is Nat McCormick, and I'm a designer here at McCormick Stevenson Corporation in Clearwater, Florida. Today I would like to do a short video to demonstrate the power of custom intent selections in Creo Parametric 3.0. So we'll get right to it. Let's open a little example part. This is maybe something that's going to be maybe possibly injection molded, but right now we need to add rounds and draft and things of that nature to kind of finish off the part. So I think most people are familiar with the default intent selection chains that are available in Creo, and these are chains, intent chains, that are created by default depending on how a feature is created. So for instance, an extrude like this initial base feature is extruded. It's just, as you would expect, a square that's extruded straight down, kind of out from either side of the midplane. So what Creo does is any edge that is parallel with the direction of the extrude automatically becomes an intent chain selection. So you can see I'm right clicking, I'm holding control, right click, and it gives me that intent edge. So again, cycle through selections under your cursor. I can select those, and this works extremely well when all the edges you want are contained in that default intent selection. As everybody knows, often we will want to make some small exceptions to the rule there and maybe remove an edge or two or something to that effect. And that's where the custom reference selections come in, and I think they're extremely powerful. So let's blow out of that. So to make these custom sets, you need to come to the Model tab, Datum, Reference. So when you come in here, you'll see that in the type dropdown, I can pick chain, surface, points, planes, all different types of intent references that you can create. For edges, let's select intent chain. You could even give it a name you want. Let's call this one 0.125 radii. So perhaps this is all of the edges on a part that will get an 1/8 inch radius. And we can make another one for a 1/4 inch radii. So we'll give it the name, maybe even name the feature the same thing. And so then when you come to placement, you can come in here and select an intent chain. So maybe that's a default Creo created intent chain. So if we go into details there, you can go to details, leave it on standard here, is what we want right now, and go into options. You actually can input exceptions here, so I can start picking edges, and you can control select multiple edges to add to the exception there. So now I've modified the default intent chain to be the default chain minus these two. So that can be very powerful, and you'll see now if I go to radius, that reference selection, it only grabs those two edges, and you can see there it is right there, the one we just created, 125 radii. So let's blow back out. We'll go back into that feature, edit definition. So for now, let's say we want all of these external radii. You could obviously still, control select, individually select each one, but utilizing these intent chains does make it a little bit simpler, and it's an important thing to note that as a feature is modified and edited, these intent chains kind of automatically update, and your model is much less prone to failure. So if we come here, now we've created this one. Those will be all of our 1/8 inch radii. And we can make another reference, and we'll call this one 250 radii. So maybe these are all of our 1/4 inch guys. Put them in here. This time, let's get all these internal ones right there. So now we've gotten all these. We can check out of that one. I like that. So if we make it one more reference selection set, let's do a surface this time. So we need to draft this part, but perhaps the surfaces on the sides here are more precisely locating the part for some reason, and so maybe those have less draft than the middle portion. So we might want to say something like 3 degree. So maybe some of it's 3 and we'll put some of it at 1. So let's say 3 degree there. We'll put that in the name. So again, you can select chains, default chains that are created. For now, I'm just going to pick the surfaces individually here. So again, you can see the surfaces that are selected there. There's kind of my individual selection set in the details. So we'll check out of this one. We'll make one more. We will call it 1 degree. And let's pick, oh, didn't change it to surface. And let's pick all of these external surfaces here. So now that we've got all that defined, let's add these guys to it also. So now that we've got all that defined, now we can actually create our features. So as with most times when you're drafting, you want to put in your draft first prior to doing your rounds on your finishing features. So draft surfaces. Now I can select, do a right click, pick from list. You could cycle through them, but I like to pick from list to make sure I'm explicitly selecting what I intend to. So I can pick that. That's okay. I can make this 3. Okay, that one's 3. That's good to go. So we'll add another draft feature. Right click, change the hinge. I like that one. Pick from list again. And we'll select our 1 degree surfaces. So now I've got those selected, 2 degree or 3 degree and 1 degree. Now I can come in and put in my rounds. I can pick from list. I can say, give me that 1/8 inch selection set. Change it to 1/8 inch. That's ready to go. Then I can come in, grab my 1/4 inch selection. Put that there. And maybe, since it's going to be injection molded, maybe we also want to round these ones. We'll just do that as a standard selection. So now we're ready to shell our part. So now we can hit shell. And let's make it, this is a thin part, 030. Reference, we'll remove this surface. Come in there, and voila. Now you can come back and edit these and say, add or remove edges from these selection sets, and you would automatically be updating the rounds that are referencing those selection sets down the line. So this can obviously be used for machine parts. Maybe you want to make sure you keep all of the radii consistent, so you could do your final finishing features and keep the groups well managed there, so that you don't end up with some wild radii called out that you're not intending to. So I hope this one helped. If you have a specific video you'd like to see or a specific topic, please leave it in the comments below, or maybe send me an email to nat.mcccormick@mccst.com, and I'd be happy to take a look at doing that. Thank you.